What's going on, guys? My name is Luchy. In today's video we're going to be talking about my 5 best tips to help you improve as a player in Fortnite Season 9. For a lot of you, these tips are going to be second nature. For the beginners and players out there who are just getting into Fortnite, or who may have been playing for a little bit and looking to just get that next edge on the competition, this video is for you. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Tip number 1, and in my opinion, one of the most important tips for any competitive game, whether it's Fortnite, Apex Legends, PUBG, Halo, Call of Duty, you get the deal, is going to be learning how to play under pressure and still maintaining the ability to make good decisions. I can't tell you how many times I've seen otherwise phenomenal Fortnite players get into situations where they either lose height advantage, or they lose a wall in their 1v1, or they're just overall being overwhelmed by an enemy. Now I know this can be hard to do, especially in the middle of a fight, but you need to take, even if you can get 1 second to yourself, relax, take a deep breath, and think about the situation and what your next best move is. A lot of people think that playing under pressure isn't a skill that can be taught or something you can train or work on, but I disagree. I think really what it comes down to is getting into as many stressful and challenging situations as you can in Fortnite. And really, while you're in that moment, take advantage, try to keep yourself calm, and observe your surroundings. Now, let me be clear, this doesn't mean that you have all the time in the world to make a decision, especially while being pressured by an enemy. I don't think there's really much more to be said about this tip other than you really just need to focus on keeping your cool in every situation. If you can do that, you'll win more fights, you'll make more calculated decisions in fights, and you'll come out on top way more than you are now. Tip number 2 is going to be getting the ideal sensitivity and DPI settings if you're playing on PC for you. Now, I can't tell you which sensitivity is best, and there's no magic number that's going to make you a better player. What I can tell you, though, is once you found a sensitivity that's comfortable for you, stick with it. I personally play on PC, so most of what's going to be included in this tip is going to be related to PC settings. Some common DPI values that a lot of people, including the pro players, use are 400 DPI, 800 DPI, and 1600 DPI. I know personally, I play at 800 DPI and 0.10 sensitivity in-game. I'm not going to go much further with this tip, as I could make an entire video on this, and probably will do so in the future, so keep a lookout for that. But the main point I'm trying to drive home with sensitivity is find something that you're comfortable with and just stick with it. Muscle memory is real, and you'll thank yourself in the long run. Tip number 3, and this is a big one, warming up your shot. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this, and really how you go about it is up to you. They each have their benefits and drawbacks, but warming up is going to be essential for your success as a Fortnite player. Now, when it comes to warming up your aim in particular, a lot of people in the Fortnite community use a program called Kovacs. Now, I'm not sure on the price of it, but I know you can purchase this program on the Steam marketplace, and it's a very popular software filled with all different types of training courses designed to help you train your aim in all different types of scenarios that you might find in a game like Fortnite, or any other game for that matter. Personally, when it comes to warming up my aim and overall gameplay, I like to play Team Rumble. The way I see it, there's no better training than actually getting in there and playing against some other players. Whether these players are bots or skilled players, I personally love the feeling of getting in there and actually shooting my guns at other players in real-time situations. There's no doubt in my mind that Kovacs is great for training your aim, but don't underestimate the power of Team Rumble and overall just getting out there and clicking some heads. Now, when it comes to warming up your builds, creative and playgrounds are probably the 2 best places to do that. The last thing you want to do is go into a public match and spend half of the match farming to practice your builds against an opponent in real time and then die in 3 seconds and repeat the process. Trust me, just go into creative, get your infinite mats, and just do some 90s, bro. If you really want to practice your build battles against other players and not just warm up your builds themselves, grab a buddy, go into creative, and do some 1v1s. Other than that, you could always go into playgrounds and play people in there. No matter how you choose to warm up, I believe warming up is key to the success of every gaming session on Fortnite. Personally, I try to get in there and spend at least 20 to 30 minutes before I actually start playing matches in Fortnite, getting my shot and builds warmed up just a little bit so I'm a little more confident going into my first match. Tip number 4, and this is one that I struggled with for a very long time, and honestly, I still do, is knowing when to disengage from a fight. A lot of people will try to ram their heads through a wall, literally, and try to just get that kill in Fortnite. While sometimes when you know you have the advantage, it can be a good thing to constantly pressure your opponent, especially one that's turtling in a 1x1. You might have a drum gun, you might have a minigun, you might have explosives, and sometimes pressuring them is the right thing to do. However, let's explore a situation where you can see how this could be a dangerous mindset to have. You get first shot at an enemy who then responds by spinning in circles into a 1x1 and boxing himself in. You did, say, 75 damage with the combat shotgun, so you know at most he's rocking 125 health. You have full shields and health, so clearly you have the advantage right now. You spray your drum gun and try to pickaxe his walls down and replace his wall with your own over and over and over again to no avail, because clearly he has better ping. While you're pickaxing his walls one of these times, he edits a window and shoots you in the chest. Now you're down to 150 total health. That's fine, you think to yourself. You still have the advantage because he's the one on the defensive. He does it a second time. Now you're under 100 health and you're enraged because the fight is completely spiraling out of control for you. You've completely lost the advantage and now you're left with a choice. Do you stay here, continuing to do what you've been doing, hoping that you get a lucky wall replace and you're able to take back that advantage? Or do you use the minis, bandages, and launch pad that you have in your inventory still to your advantage? Now, nobody's saying you have to use that launch pad and run away like a scared little girl. But what I am saying is maybe it would be in your best interest if you built up a couple of levels, boxed yourself in now, and get a little bit of healing on yourself. Now, if this opponent manages to get control of the fight yet again and you have no other options but to run away, use the launch pad and run away. The worst that's going to happen is he chases you down and you have to challenge him again, but at least you'll give yourself a chance to get away and live to fight another day. As crappy of a situation as it is, sometimes it's best to just put your pride to the side and realize when you've been outmatched. At the end of the day, you should never pressure yourself into thinking that you have to take an engagement that you have a clear disadvantage in. Remember guys, play smarter, not harder. Tip number 5, and I feel like this tip is going to be very important for those players out there who consider themselves beginners, below average, or even average players that are just trying to take their game to the next level, and that is play with confidence. I can't stress this enough, guys. You have to be confident in every decision you make in Fortnite. Confidence is a mindset. You guys need to understand that 100%. Now, are there going to be players in Fortnite that are going to be superior to you with mechanical skills? Obviously, there are going to be people that are light years ahead of you in mechanical skill. There are also going to be people who are light years behind you in mechanical skill. Whichever type of player you're facing, you need to have the same confidence going up against them. Whether you go up against somebody that builds like Mongrel or you end up facing soccer player 69, you need to play with the same level of confidence and really believe in your head that you can beat that person if you play your cards right. Are you going to beat that player that plays like Mongrel? You might. Chances are you won't, especially if you're not too sure of yourself at first. But the point of the matter is that you need to build up a confidence in yourself over time when you're getting in these engagements so that no other player is going to intimidate you just because they build fast or they hit the first few shots on you. Don't play scared. Playing aggressive in Fortnite is a very, very, very rewarding play style because the more pressure you can put on someone and the faster you can put that pressure on them, the more likely they're going to be to play on the defensive and be more passive, which enables you to control the rest of the fight. Now, do not take aggressive playstyle and confuse that with reckless playstyle, because the two are not intertwined. You can be a very aggressive player and make calculated and smart decisions while applying pressure, or you could be the reckless player. Now, the reckless player and the aggressive player may share some traits. However, the reckless player is going to be that person that's more prone to, say, not know when to disengage from a fight, not realize when they have a clear disadvantage, push even though they have no shields and 50 health against a 1v2 situation. The reckless player is the player who is overconfident in his or her abilities, the player who will get punished over and over again for making poor decisions in game. People who play very reckless playstyles refuse to see when they're at a disadvantage and stand to lose the game. They will think that no matter what, no matter how many times they take damage, no matter how many times they get outbuilt, no matter how many times someone breaks into their box, they should stay head fast and fight that fight. Don't be the reckless player. It's okay to be aggressive, but be aggressive and calculated, not aggressive and reckless. Well guys, that's going to do it from my 5 tips to improve in Fortnite Season 9. To be honest, most of these tips probably could have applied to any other competitive FPS game out there. But in my opinion, these are some of the staple tips that you need to apply and really start checking yourself on to improve in any FPS game. So that's why I included them. This is my first Fortnite related video in a long time on this channel, but I do plan on making a lot more Fortnite related content, being as the recent patches have got me interested in the game again. If you guys like the video, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below letting me know what type of content you'd like to see in the future. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.